tonight's session. I just thought it would be a great time and opportunity to bring a live message for you guys. I know the energy is quite intense out there right now. So I just thought it would be a good idea to bring this. First and foremost, the first thing I want to say to anyone who is really going through or really feeling the intensity of the energy that's happening right now is this isn't a breakdown. This is a breakthrough, opportunity, timing, all of that stuff. There's a lot of energy, like a lot of planets that are really making some big, powerful shifts and changes. And although it can feel quite intense and overwhelming, especially now up until the 20th of February, there's a lot going on. I will just give a brief overview of that. You know, we have Saturn at 29 degrees. Any planet that's at the end degrees of a sign is quite intense. That is going to be moving into a whole entirely new sign. It's going to be moving into the sign of Aries. We have some tensions between the Saturn and the moon that's going to be in Sagittarius tomorrow. So there's some right there. There's also Saturn entering Pisces on the 14th and the 17th. We have a new moon. At the same time, we have the new Chinese New Year. The 18th, the sun will be entering the sign of Pisces. And then on the 20th, we have that exact connection with Neptune and Saturn. So it is going to be some serious, intense energy over the course of the next week up until the 20th. It'll still linger after that. But I feel like the brunt of it, we're going to be feeling up until the time, or up until February 20th is where we'll feel a lot of that really tense energy. And again, I feel this energy is not an energy of breaking down. It's about breaking through. There are some things that are collapsing as this, takes shape and place. So yes, just be mindful of that energy and ride the waves, like really, take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, whatever it is you need to do for you, and just keep moving forward. So let's grab some cards and let's see what wants to show up for this message. Take what resonates, release what doesn't. Let's see. First card that comes up is focus your vision. Very intense energy when you can look at those colors. I feel like a really big connection between the root chakra, where you see a lot of that red energy, all the way through to the crown chakra, where you see that purple energy. So there is a lot happening. It's almost like we're all being recalibrated right into this new frequency of the Aquarian age, which is quite a different frequency than what we are used to with the Pisces energy. So big shift and change of direction or frequency as far as the energies go. Again, remember to focus your vision on what you do not, on what you do want, not what you don't want, and stay mindful of that. Next, time to play. So I feel like this is an energy calling you to lighten up a little bit, like work through this energy in the best way possible. I know it's easier said than done when you're going through such an intense time. This is not going to last forever, but this is a very pivotal point right now that we are in with the intensity of that energy. And again, like I said, this is going to be playing out quite intensely through the 20th of February. So it's not a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. Just keep that in mind. We are coming out of that old paradigm. Another thing with this new moon that I was talking about that's taking place on the 17th, this new moon solar eclipse that is happening at 29 degrees of Aquarius on the same day is that Chinese New Year, and that is, we are coming out of the old Chinese Year, which was the snake. So there's a shedding of that old skin. This new paradigm, or this new Chinese New Year, is bringing the fire horse, which things are really going to accelerate. They're going to take off quite quickly. There's going to be a lot happening when we get to this February 17th. And again, like I said, the next day, the sun is going to be entering the sign of Pisces. It's going to be illuminating and shining light on a lot of cycles that need to be closed out, a lot of hidden enemies, a lot of secrets that have been hidden, a lot of things like that for that time. And then when we hit that exact alignment with Neptune and Saturn, it is going to be uh, quite the energy shift right there. So let's see. The first card that came out was Focus Your Vision. The second card was Time to Play. So I do feel like it's important to focus on the things that you want, the good things, what you're looking forward to, or what you desire in your future. And also to, don't forget to make time for fun, right? Regardless of what that fun looks like for you, it does say time to play. So it's time to lighten the load a little bit. Maybe I know life is very serious right now, or it feels very serious, can feel very overwhelming. But at the same time, it is important for you to, channel some of that energy into being happy, having fun, joy, that sort of experiencing them sorts of things, hang out with friends, whatever it is you're choosing. The next card that comes out is Harmonize Life. And I definitely am feeling this energy. I'm feeling this is a really big pivotal shift and change right now for everybody, right? And again, it's like bringing balance. Balance is being restored. And I know there are many people who are really going to appreciate and love that. And I know there are people who are not, because the balance may not be a favorable thing for them. And I don't really want to focus on that. I really try to focus all my energy on the positive things and the things that can help to enhance, to make life better, to infuse love, inspiration, motivation, encouragement into people. I know a lot of people get fixated and focused on all the doom and the gloom and the BS that's taking place, but that's not really where we want to. Remember, focus your vision. That's not really what we want to focus our vision on. We understand it's a real thing, we understand it's there, but it's not something we want to necessarily invest our time, energy, and effort into, right? Hello. Hi. Thank you for being here. Let's see what else is coming out. So, this is about focusing your vision, time to play, harmonize life, balance being restored. And again, I'm not, forgetting or thinking that the things do not, the tenseness of the energy doesn't exist, because I know it does. And look at this, pursue your dream. And this is the energy that I was picking up when I came out here to do this reading tonight. I did bring these cards. I also have other cards with me as well. I think I'll do another reading later on out of that deck, because that deck was more about talking about where you're moving towards in the future and the opportunities and things like that that lie ahead. But I did feel like it was going to be important to make people aware that your um, situation, your experiences, the challenges that you're enduring, the things that you are going through right now, that they are recognized. This says pursue your dream. And you can see this person who's literally laying in a puddle of tears, of sadness, of very low vibrational energy right there. And it just gives me that vibe of saying it's time to come out of this, right? It's time to not allow the pain, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the letdowns, um, to just keep you down, right? It is important to feel them, to heal them, but to always stand back up, right? That's the thing. It's about getting back up and getting back out there. So next card that comes out is Stand in Your Strength. I'm going to start clarifying these cards now. And I love this because, oh, look at this. Sacrament to the present. That's right. This is beautiful energy that I'm feeling showing up. Um, you see this right here. This is like, if you were to flip that upside down, that is that Neptunian energy, right? Neptune just went from Pisces, which was his ruling sign, into the house of Aries. And this Neptune is what is going to be connecting with Saturn. Saturn is about karma, it's about timing, it's about structure, discipline, it's about having strength. that sort of energy, and persevering is definitely part of that Saturn energy. And I feel like this is that portal that I've been talking about, or feeling this energy of, where there is this intensity. But when this connection, when this exact alignment happens, I feel you're going to, that's your breakthrough. That's where you're really stepping into your power. You're living in the moment, you're in the present, you're um, really, opening yourself up to receive. This feels like receiving, the blessings that are going to be bestowed upon you as a result of everything that not only you've endured, but that you've overcome. Very important. Hello, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. So we're going to clarify some of these. I did feel like when I came on here tonight that it was very interesting to me, because I did feel torn, and I did feel like I was going to ultimately end up doing two readings. And I felt like one was kind of more talking about the energy of where we are right now in this portal that we're going through, from, like I said, the energy that's, we're already feeling this energy, and it's going to continue to get more tense and amplified. Um, Michael. And it's going to get amplified. It's going to be quite intense moving through, getting to this point where we have that exact alignment with Neptune and Sagittarius. There was something with Sagittarius tomorrow, I believe that is. Am I correct on that? Let me see my notes, let me see my charts. Because there is going to be this. Yes. So tomorrow there is a really significant pressure point between Saturn, which is at 29 degrees, and I believe it is squaring the moon, which is in Sagittarius. So you could find tomorrow where there's a lot of tension when it comes to higher learning, belief systems, things like that. I feel like, like I said, I feel like the tension is going to continue to, be very significant all the way through until we have that. I feel that breakthrough energy, which is happening on the 20th. So let's start clarifying some of these cards. And the first card I'm going to look at is the focus your vision. And I feel like this is talking about right here and right now. Focus your vision, Ace of Air, on the truth, on clarity, on a new beginning. Aces are always new beginning. And again, I'm being drawn back to this card where it says, pursue your dream. And I feel like there is somebody who is watching this, or who is going to be watching this, who can really, maybe they're really feeling it right now, feeling some very intense emotions, or really down in the dumps. Hello, that sort of energy. And, I'm here to say, just keep persevering, keep pushing through, feel those feelings, do that healing. Just don't give up, right? And that's what I'm here to say right now. So focus on your vision, focus on the truth, on the clarity. If something is causing confusion or distortion in any way, shape, or form within your energy, it is important to recognize that, recognize where it's coming from, and take a step back from that, right? Because anything that is trying to cause confusion, chaos, that sort of energy, that is not a healthy energy. It is not a good energy. It is not a higher vibrational energy. And it's okay to say no. It is okay to recognize toxic energy for what it is, and to, you know, put bring peace to yourself, however you need to be doing that, right? Like stepping back from situations, disconnecting, whatever it may be. So the next card too, that want to come out, I don't know what the second one is yet, because they came out together, but I can see the Wheel of Fortune right there. This is that energy of Sagittarius, which I was talking about tomorrow. Let's start by first, I'm a huge, I love signs and synchronicities. I'm a huge fan of hearts. So when I see something that resembles a heart, and that is a heart, I always feel like there's love coming through in a situation. The Fortune's Wheel talks about change, and we are in a very big life changing time right now. This is all meant to be for the better. And so just keep that in mind. And like I said, this isn't about a breakdown, it's about a breakthrough. And it's time we broke through that restrictive energy, um, that harsh toxic energy that's been, wow, King of Swords was the next one underneath all of that. That is the truth. This is where we are. Everybody is worthy and deserving of truth, clarity, respect, right? um Integrity. This King of Air is making me think of that Aquarius energy. Integrity is the wave of the future. I know it's going to be challenging for some. I don't typically like to I mention it because I know it's important to know that, but I do feel like it's also important for you to know that the truth sets you free. And sometimes, well, I once upon a time, I don't feel we it was very easy to get physical validation on a lot of experiences or situations and things like that, but I don't feel like that's the age we live in anymore, and I don't feel like that's the way things are. You can see that just in your local community, within your group, your friends, family, coworkers, whatever it is, and on the world stage, you can see there is a lot of uh, deception, manipulation being brought to the surface. It's all being unearthed. Pluto is transiting the sign of Aquarius right now, and it's going to unearth all the deception, the lies, the manipulation, the trickery. It's going to bring it to the surface so that we can change it. We can make things different. We can do that. It's very possible. So let's clarify this time to play. Let's clarify this time to play. First card that comes out is the Ace of Waters. I really like this. So the first card that I was clarifying, which was the focus your vision, the first card that clarified it was the Ace of Swords, right? The truth, the clarity, the conversations, the communication, probably meeting new people and things like that as well. And now we're talking about time to play and we're getting the Ace of Water. So you can see the lineup of new beginnings, the opportunity for new beginnings. Bottom of the deck is the Magician, manifesting things. And I do feel, and I know from a person who has manifested quite a few things in this lifetime, things like some people were like calling me crazy. She's never going to do it. And then their jaw was hitting the ground when it really did happen. And I really did it. So what I want to say about that is this is that breakthrough energy. Like I said, this isn't your breakdown. And I do know when I was going through some things, some situations, and I was saying I was going to manifest this into my life, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. Hello, thank you for being here. Um, because what they were physically seeing, they couldn't see how that would absolutely come about or be true. And ultimately it did come about and it did be true. So and I do know there were quite intense times. It was almost like um you again it in a personal level, and I don't look at it like that now, but it felt like everything was breaking down. I was just like at my ends wit, and I didn't really couldn't figure out that sort of thing. But it wasn't a breakdown; it was a breakthrough, and it really did come through, and it was very beautiful. So I can tell you that a lot of times when we're manifesting, it doesn't feel like it's happening and we don't see how it's going to happen, and you almost reach that threshold of like, I'm just done, I'm giving up. And I kind of feel you know that's when you release it and stop trying to control it, is when that breakthrough energy comes through. So whoever I'm talking to right now, I do feel like you're at your breakthrough moment. I feel like there's new beginnings that are happening. There's a lot of truth and clarity coming in for you that's going to help turn this uh, fortune's wheel in a favorable direction. There does look, with this King of Air out here as well, it looks like it's going to, whatever this is, it does look like it's going to bring a lot of peace, a lot of emotional fulfillment or stability or security into your realm as well. Next card that comes out is the Eight of Air. So this is clarifying over here with this time to play. And I feel whoever I'm talking to that this is representing, I feel like you've been stuck for a very long time, or feel like you've been stuck for a very long time. It feels like, wow, high priestess on the bottom of the deck. It does feel to me like you're like, it almost feels like you possibly have said, I'm in such a rut, I don't know my way out of this, right? I think it's really important right now to do something that brings you joy, to have fun. Um, if you can go to a place and get out into nature, depending on where you are, if it's not too cold and the weather permits, that sort of thing. But it's kind of giving me that energy where it's time to break free of an old, outdated, stagnant, kind of being stuck energy, like change things up, right? Um, change, bring a change. Yes, look at seven of cups is coming out now, because I feel like whoever I'm talking to, it's almost like you're in a repetitive cycle of confusion. It feels like confusion, or not being able to see clearly. I do also feel with all of this, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So I kind of feel like this confusion, or this being stuck, doesn't necessarily all have to do with you. It could be in regards to external situations, circumstances, people, that sort of thing. But it's giving me that energy of, it's time to break out of this now. And remember, we've seen this, pursue your dreams, right? Where this person, and I said, it's time to, it's okay to feel those feelings. It's important to heal those things as well. But I feel like you're being nudged to do something different. Maybe you only buy groceries on Monday and you switch it up and decide to do it on a Wednesday. It doesn't have to be anything major or big. It can be something very small. You know what I'm saying? It can be just changing your routine in some way, shape, or form, or do something different. Maybe you go to a place regularly, out to coffee, and you choose a different location, or you choose a different company to, whatever it is that you go to, something like that. But it is giving me the energy that it's going to be very beneficial for you to get out and have some fun, laugh, love, be around people who appreciate, respect you, treat you right, that sort of thing. Let's get some clarity on this harmonized life, because this is what I feel is trying to come through right now. And I do feel like you are at that breakthrough energy. So keep moving. Page of Fire. This could be a message. And I feel like right away, I feel invitation. Maybe you get invited to something, and for some reason you want to reject this offer, this invite, that sort of thing. I'm almost feeling like, for a reason, maybe because I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the place like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody, not everybody would think like that, but there are people who do, because they think of others, right? They are very kind, considerate, and thoughtful about feelings of others, and not wanting to bring the vibe down. I'm feeling like this is something you're like to go to, where it's going to take you out, or it's going to play a role in taking you out of a funk. I feel like this is where you could be having a lot of fun. And for someone out there, I see the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It may be because you are financially, restricted in some way. Maybe this is part of what's going on for someone. I'm doing this as a general reading. And so, it's take what resonates, release what doesn't. But I mean, I feel like this message, or this offer, or this opportunity to go somewhere, like this could be just to go to watch a basketball game, or go to watch, somebody invites you somewhere. And I do feel for someone out there, you could be concerned because of the financial, you know deal with it, like having, I feel like that is, and I was looking underneath, and I'm like, yeah, it feels to me like that's a toxic thought pattern. I remember years and years ago, I was going through a separation, and I was really going through some stuff, and so I really had to get creative on what I was able to afford to do, and bring my kids to at least have, do stuff and have fun. So I do, whoever I'm talking to, I feel like that is something, and it's not that I feel like maybe that's part of an old mindset. That's part of something that's getting ready to move, to go away. Wow, I would say yes. There's the king of fire, and look at the heart. I love the hearts. You know, I love the hearts. I feel like there's a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of opportunity in some sort of message that you get that either is an invite or it's telling you about something. And so if you're kind of feeling, like it costs $5 to get in and I only got this much, you know what I mean? I want to do stuff that's for free. I almost feel like it's like spend that $5, right? Like do something for you, right? Invest in yourself. Invest in your time out. It could even be the coffee opportunity where you're like, yeah, I can drink coffee at home for like, however X amount of cents versus going out and paying $5, which I really do think is ridiculous to pay for a coffee. Anyhow, it's not about the price of the coffee, though. It's about the opportunity. It's about the getting out of the one area that you're in or this like restrictive energy. I feel like it's a part of the breakthrough for you. So, take what resonates, release what doesn't. Six of fire on the bottom of the deck. I do see this bringing victory, success in some way. I feel like it's your spirit is lifted. I feel like you're infused with happiness, with joy, with, just the exhilaration of having had a good time or something like that is how I'm feeling with all of this. Next card that comes out is the Three of Earth. This is threes. We've seen a couple aces out here, right? Now I'm seeing this three. So the aces are that new beginning. They're that fresh seed that gets planted. You nurture, you water that seed, and then they grow. Goes to the two. That can be the choice or the decision. Threes go to growth and expansion. I feel like all of this is just major, minor steps, kind of, into something much, much bigger, is how I'm feeling. I feel like there's going to be a lot of room for growth and expansion and things moving up from that place of taking this offer and opportunity. All right, so let me get into pursue your dream. Let me clarify some. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. That's very nice of you to say. All right, let's get some clarity on this pursue your dream. First card that comes out is the Queen of Fire. Very interesting because they're sitting right on the table in front of me, the king and the queen. If some of you have been going through something to do with a relationship, a connection, something like that, you've been really down in the dumps, you're still in that healing process. These two are definitely a union, right? These two are both. I definitely feel these are a couple. Well, they are a couple. I don't feel that way. I can see that way. And look how red his heart is, right? See how much love is in his heart? She has a heart too, right? She has I feel like whoever I'm talking, if this is about a relationship, I feel like somebody has definitely gone through some heartbreak when it comes to relationship, connection, maybe trusting people. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be within a partnership, but I'm kind of feeling like it is. That sort of energy. Yeah, I kind of feel like somebody really, you know I feel like her heart is protected. I feel like her heart is there. She still has love, but it's guarded is how I'm feeling. Like, get too close to the flame, you're going to get burned, right? That kind of thing. But I'm not sensing that's what's coming in. I feel like this is why this person could be a little standoffish, guarded, that protective over their heart. That sort of thing is how I'm feeling with that. Next card that comes out is the Chariot. So this talks about moving forward, and it's interesting when I see this card. It's in this deck. Three of Fire is on the bottom of the deck. Again, Three of Fire talks about growth, expansion. It talks about turning your back on the past. It talks about heading towards the future, your ship's coming in. And when I see this Chariot card, I always see, like, you can see there's a distraction, right? There does feel to me like there could be something that's trying to distract someone from moving forward, moving ahead, that sort of energy. I'm just saying that to be, let somebody be know to know this so that they're mindful, as they're moving forward, that there could be these things that want to show up and come in, ultimately just to distract you, get you off, going towards the future, going towards better times, going towards, we've seen that fortune's wheel out here going towards a positive change. So I'm just giving that as a friendly reminder. Let's talk about this stand your ground. Stand your ground. Give us more information on this stand your ground. Oops. Ooh, we had all kinds of cards that wanted to come up about this. So we had the Nine of Waters, which is, a wish fulfillment. This is make a wish. We got the Queen of Air, and I want to show you because she's at the end of this row and the King was at the beginning. I've already seen the King and the Queen of Wands. Now I'm seeing the Queen and the King of Air. What were the aces that came out? The Ace of Air came out and the Ace of Cups. And then on top of, in between all of this came this Six of Cups. I really strongly feel like somebody in the past has gone through something. um I feel very heartbroken. There was a lot of heartbreak associated with this, but I feel they're wiser now. They know more. They've learned a lot. It's like you want to feel it, you want to heal it, you want to take the lessons you learned from that and be able to move forward. You don't want to continuously carry that pain and that baggage with you. You want to be able to move on, to ascend, to connect into something healthy. And that's exactly what I can see showing up with the Four of Wands right here. The Four of Wands talks about a celebration. It talks about, it can be, marriage in the future. It can be a celebration of a union when it comes to people doing business or coming together, that sort of energy. I would feel more with all of this that I'm kind of seeing it being a union of people. Yes, look, and then the Seven of Wands is underneath that, and the Seven of Wands is representing getting to the top of that mountain and reaching for the stars. Having overcome the obstacles, the challenges, the pain, and the heartbreak from the past. So I'm going to use this third deck and I'm going to go through here one more time just to bring any additional clarifying and information. I do hope if this reading resonates with you that you do consider subscribing to this channel and to please give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's see. Let's see. What? A lot of energy wants to come out with this deck for whatever reason. Yeah, look at this. There's the Moon and the Emperor. Something like somebody's coming out of their shell. Somebody is breaking through. And I feel like this, first, I know it's not, I think, I know that this is Aries energy. And that's exactly what I was talking about tonight, where a lot of things. We got the moon right here as well. I did talk about the moon, the new moon that's going to be happening on the 17th, and that's at that same time this fire horse, the Chinese New Year starts with the fire horse. I feel like it's time for someone to break out of their shell because they're moving towards a new beginning. They're like the old whatever, and you could see this person looks like almost they were a statue, right? Like carved into, and it's kind of like that's all coming apart now. That old, whatever that was is coming out of there. I see the Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So I am feeling like there is going to be strong change when it comes to, or big change anyways, when it comes to feelings, connections, relationships, romance, that sort of thing. We have the Hermit card, which I'm going to talk about. We got the Two of Cups, which is talking about partnership, which I really want to talk about. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which I'll get to all of that in a second. But this is the most important one. If this was a reading for someone who is gone through some sort of heartbreak when it comes to connection and relationship, you see these two cups right here and you see two people, right? But you see, it's like they're never really connected. They're not connected. You see the two people up here, they are connected. They connect through the ethers, they connect through emotions, they connect through the, the spirit, that sort of thing. This was almost like a union that was for, I hate to say it, but maybe for show or because it looked good or something like that. There just felt like there was something cold about it. It feels like there was something disconnecting about that situation. And that could be why somebody has been going through and maybe feeling isolated or stuck or, caught up in a rut, that sort of thing. The next two cards I'm going to talk about now are the hermit card and the queen of pentacles. And I feel like with the hermit card, that's about going within, that's about discovering who we really are. It's about going into hermit mode, and again, that's not a bad thing, but it is a bad thing if it extends for too long of a time. With this queen of pentacles showing up out here, I'm feeling like this is somebody who is very grounded, down to earth, nurturing, loving, and is definitely, it can talk. I'm not seeing the king of pentacles yet, but this would indicate somebody who is like in a long-term commitment. And I don't know if I see that long-term commitment right now, but I do see that long-term commitment that is coming, right? There's the king of swords again. Very interesting. It's interesting because the two king of swords really give me different vibes. Like I feel like if this was in regards to a person from the past, whether it's a male or a female, put yourself where it fits, that sort of thing. But I am feeling somebody was very cold. Like there was somebody, like I said, even with the two of cups, like this was just like for looks. It was cold. It was disconnected. There wasn't this um, connection, like this soul connection, this healthy connection, spirit connection. Just that's how I'm feeling. And I kind of feel somebody has gone through, and it doesn't have to be, you can be a guy watching this. This could have been you were dealing with an ice queen, somebody very cold, or, either way, you take what resonates, release what doesn't, put yourself where it fits. And here's the Queen of Wands again, right? Queen of Wands is showing up again. This is somebody very passionate, a high vibrate. Every sign, no matter what it is, has their highs and their lows. They have, like, if you've seen a Queen of Pentacles upright, this is somebody grounded, down to earth, um, you know, stable, solid, that sort of thing. A Queen of Pentacles in reverse would be a materialistic person. They'd be money hungry, they'd be a gold digger, right? Both Queen of Wands have shown up all right. Up on the upright, they have shown up. Look, blessing on the bottom of the deck with the Taurus energy right here. This is earth energy. Very interesting to see this. I love this because this feels to me like that blessing that's coming through. But on the others, when I was talking about this Queen of Wands, and this is somebody very passionate. They're very driven. They're ambitious. They can be very absolutely very attractive, but they don't use that. A queen of fire or a Queen of Wands in reverse would be, a very lustful energy, very promiscuous energy. Like, this kind of, it just, that's the lower vibration. Higher vibration, they're loyal, they're dedicated, they're faithful, they're, loyalty to any of the Leo energies that I'm seeing out here. Loyalty is a big thing to them. Like, they are very loyal and they expect that in return. So this is how I'm seeing it. And I am kind of seeing all of this really coming together with like the qualities, the higher vibrational qualities of an individual. Like if this is a female who's listening to this, she's looking for this, here they are, and I am seeing that as well with we got the kings, we got the emperor out here. This is somebody who's, um, a great protector, provider, who's loyal, who is a true leader, who is a true masculine energy, right? To go along with this feminine, pure, authentic feminine energy is how I'm feeling this. Yeah, I definitely feel like there was a lot of challenges and chaos in the past. This to me feels like it's over, though. I feel like it's over and someone's being offered an opportunity, I cannot make it up, for a new beginning, to take a fresh path. Look at that little dogs represent, they're very loyal, right? And look at this. I'm seeing Uranus right here. See it right there? That is very activated right now. And where did I say there was something going on with that too? It's at the end degrees of Taurus, which I did see the Hierophant in here, which is talking about, it can talk about tradition or traditional things, but it's in that house. Uranus right now is in that house of Taurus. So it is going to bring radical shifts and change when it comes to someone's physical realm, whether it be their home, their family, their foundation, their relationships, whatever this is. There's the Three of Pentacles showing up for a second time. It's time for growth, expansion. It's time for this new beginning. I'm seeing this coming through for whoever this is resonating with. I see the Temperance Angel. This is that Sagittarius energy. And I just spoke on this. What day did I give? I gave a specific day. The tension between um, oh, that was for tomorrow. Between Saturn in Aquarius and the moon in Sagittarius. And it's like something is coming through that's trying to bring balance into a situation. And we've seen the Chariot before where I said there was a distraction. There's the Chariot again. And look at it on this card, because this is something that wants to bring division. It's something that wants to pull things apart. So be mindful if there's something that comes through tomorrow that's trying to distract you from moving forward, to enhancing, to evolving, to moving on. Eight of Wands is on the bottom of the deck, and that talks about a lot of things happening at once. I have been warning about that energy. Um, it can be starting to show up in your realm now, and it will get more intense from the 17th. I can say that. Sorry. All right, let me pull a couple more cards just to finish up this reading and to close this out. This card wanted to pop. Yes. Seven of Wands for the second time. And this is rising above. There's that Leo energy again. And there's Mars energy, which is the ruler of Aries. So this is somebody taking their power back. And we've seen that right here. Stand in your power. Somebody is standing in their power. They're going to rise above all the trials and tribulations. They're going to persevere towards their vision, the vision of what they desire, the vision of what they want, of what they're looking to bring into fruition. Sorry. They're going to have to make a choice and a decision. And the Empress came out, and she is the the match to this Emperor. This is, I really feel for whoever I'm talking to, if you have been going through this, healing from a prior relationship, that I feel there was just a disconnect. You could have loved till you were blue in the face, but there was something cold about it, something that was just disconnected within that situation. I feel whoever I'm talking to, you've done the healing. Now you're manifesting a true divine partner in your life. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. It's judgment. And look at this. I love to see this, because any of these shady characters are going to be cast aside, and someone's going to be resurrected and aligned with something more divine. Yeah, somebody will be heartbroken about this. But I just feel like it wasn't a fit. Like, that's just, I mean, I'm not trying to knock anybody or say anything bad about anybody, but I just feel like somebody was cold, disconnected, maybe not emotionally available. I did see a lot of threes out there, could have had a lot of third parties, that sort of situation. And now, I feel like somebody's going to be moving on and aligning with what they desire, what they visualize for their life, for their future, that sort of energy. Anyhow, I hope you guys have enjoyed this message. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I do hope it helps you in some way, shape, or form. And I will see you the next time I go live. Have a great day.